Hello and welcome to the Monroe Method Clancast. I am Jason Monroe. This is episode 97. So today we are talking about the impact of sleep on weight loss and your overall health. My friend Nick and I used to do daily Instagram lives around about like midday for like 10-15 minutes back when Instagram lives were a thing. People don't really do them much anymore, do they? IGTV it was back then. But one of the episodes we did was about sleep. We called it the one hack to rule them all. Everything. Think about this, right? Think about this, because this will melt your brain. Every single thing that you do every day is dependent on sleep. Think about that for a moment. Every single thing you do every single day has some level of dependency on how much sleep you had the night before. Think of it like this, right? I don't remember what day it was, right? But very recently, just a few days ago, I went to my bed. I put my son to bed at 8 o'clock, well, 8, half 8, and I was in my bed and sleeping for 8:58 p.m. according to my Garmin, right? I deliberately went to my bed early so that I would naturally get up around 4 or 5 a.m. to work on a big project I was working on. Now, I got up at 7 a.m., 6:58. So I went to bed at 8:58 and I woke up at 6:58. That was a fucking outrageous amount of sleep, but I was obviously needing it. And do you know what? I went on to work on the project anyway. I had an absolutely mega day that day. I was so well rested. I felt fantastic. A lot of my aches and pains that I'd had from climbing a mountain a few days before had disappeared. It was just a bloody phenomenal day. Now, what if I had only got 4 hours sleep that night? My day would have went completely different, even though I had all the same things to do, nothing different, same work, same school run, same shit, doing the exact same thing. However, I'm trying to do it on 4 hours sleep instead of, what was that, 9, 10? Yeah, 9 to 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 hours sleep I had. But yeah, how much different would each of those days go depending on how much sleep I had? So it's not like a lack of sleep ruins your day. But what I said was everything that you do in a day is dependent on the amount of rest that you've had. So you still have to do all the same things, but your ability to perform them, to do them, whatever they might be, is dependent on how much sleep you've had. Like, I might have been the nicest guy in the world to the kids on the day that I had 10 hours sleep because my patience levels were at their absolute maximum. My stress levels were at their lowest. My understanding and compassion and empathy were all ticking over nicely because I was so well rested. Versus if I only got 4 hours sleep, I'd be like, get dressed, get your teeth brushed, get ready, stop telling me fucking stupid stories that I don't care about. I wouldn't say that to them, nor would I swear at my kids, my goodness. Do you know, it's not that I wouldn't swear at my kids, it's that I know that my kids would repeat swear words. Like, when kids repeat swear words, where do they get that from? They're getting it from their parents. I think that's the kind of I think that's the motivator to be very conscious of your language around the kids. No, sorry, I didn't mean I want to swear at the kids. I meant use that language in front of them. Anyway, moving on. So every single thing that you do is dependent on sleep. Everything, absolutely everything. Do you think let's say you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to make great decisions around food. Do you think you'll make better or worse decisions with 10 hours sleep? Right, you're probably going to make better decisions. You're fully rested, you're very positive, you're very motivated, you're very focused and upbeat, everything's sunshine and rainbows. You had the best sleep of your life last night. What if you've had 4 hours sleep? How easy is it to say, fuck it? No, I'm not going to prep my lunch today. I'll just get something from the supermarket. No, I'm not going to think about what to have for dinner tonight or take that chicken out to defrost or whatever. And then it gets to like 4 or 5 p.m. Your partner's sending you messages. What's for tea tonight? Oh, we'll just get a takeaway. It is so easy to make unhelpful decisions when you don't have a lot of sleep. Sleep is honestly, genuinely, it's the most overlooked hack ever. I hate using that word because it's ridiculous to call something so fundamentally essential a hack. But we're at a point in life, we're at a point in the world, a time in life where people want to know what hacks are. Like, you can't just say, yeah, if you get 8 hours of sleep, you're going to feel great. They want it to be a hack. They want it to feel like they're doing something that's different to what everyone else is doing. But yeah, isn't it funny how people think and work? So the impact of sleep on weight loss. Now, sleep doesn't have, I mean, it probably does, but it's so ridiculously minor that I can get away with saying sleep doesn't have an impact on weight loss. So I'm going to stick with it, right? In terms of the things that we need to do to lose weight, getting enough sleep isn't up there. I mean, there is probably some kind of very minor connection between getting adequate rest and your ability to lose body fat. But it's honestly, there's like 1,000,001 things you could be addressing before getting to that level. However, there are countless indirect factors here. Like I've just described most of them, right? Like I said, the difference between getting 8 hours sleep, 8 hours of high quality, consistent sleep versus 4 hours of broken sleep, which of those versions of you is going to make great decisions that day? Which of those versions of you is going to be motivated and positive and upbeat and focused in all these things? Who's going to wake up wanting to make positive decisions, and who's going to wake up coping their way through the day with sugar and caffeine and snacks and then a takeaway because they can't face standing in front of a cooker at 7 p.m. making dinner when they got such a shitty sleep the night before? So this is why sleep is so ridiculously important. Like it took me many years. Like I used to be very easily led by my wife. My wife is the type of person to maximize every day at the detriment of her health. What I mean by that is she would happily go to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning knowing that she has to be up at 6 a.m. the next day because she likes to milk as much time as she can. Our mum's the same. Our mum sits up till like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning watching her TV shows because she just loves that time of night, and then lies in her bed till 9, 10 o'clock the next again day. I don't know. Maybe it's a generational. No, not generational. What do you call it when there's a history of something in a family? I can't think. Anyway. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So yeah, that's just the way that she is. And I used to be very easily led by that. And that was terrible when I worked in my old job because I had to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning for a 4:30 start, sometimes a 5 a.m. start, 12 and a half, 13-hour shift. So it was terrible. But again, like I went along with that back then. But then it was also the fact that because I was working such long shifts, if you go to your work for 5 a.m. And you're getting home at 6 p.m., by the time you have your dinner and sort the kids and put a kid to bed, it's now 8 p.m. You need to be back in your bed in an hour's time to be able to get up a reasonable time. So I can get it. But now, like, I have 2 kids, I have 2 dogs, I have a wife, I have a business, I have hundreds of clients to look after. It's not that there's lots of people dependent on me. It's that I cannot perform to the best of my ability and give the people who need my energy the best energy if I've had a terrible sleep. I prioritize my clients. I prioritize my kids. I don't want to be a horrible bastard to be around when the kids are home. Like I pick up the kids from school and they're so excited to see me. You don't want to turn up there like, oh my God, I'm exhausted. What a terrible day. Don't talk to me, kids. So I prioritize sleep not just for my benefit, because I know that when I'm well rested, I do a great job and everybody gets the best possible version of me. I know that was basically it, right? It's not just for me; it's so everybody else benefits as well. Um, and I guess the way that I rationalize that now, it's like, well, is it really worth watching that extra episode as a trade-off for feeling shit the next day? Is it worth watching that episode to give less than your best on check-ins with your clients? Is it worth that next episode to be boring and droll on a podcast the next day, for example? So it's not that sleep impacts weight loss. It's not that a lack of sleep will slow your... I mean, do you know what? Let's talk about all the indirect stuff, right? A lack of sleep will slow your weight loss down, but indirectly. So you wake up every day, you're doing all the things, you're losing body fat, but the scales are fluctuating partly because you're experiencing a lack of sleep. Now, you are losing body fat every single day because you're in a calorie deficit. So it's not that you're not losing fat. It is happening. You're just not getting to see it. Now, let's say this goes on for 2 weeks. Now, I know that let's say that you've checked in with me. I look at your tracking and all the rest of it, and I can say to you with certainty, Jennifer, wherever that came from, you have lost 2.5 pounds this fortnight. You've just not got to see it. Now, I know, because I know how many calories you burn. I know that what your tracking looks like. I know that you've been in a deficit. I know how much of a deficit you've been in. I can tell you that you have lost 2.5 pounds of body fat this week. But you have to take my word for it, because the scales aren't showing you that. The scales have only showed you 0.5 pound. But here's all the reasons why you're only seeing 0.5 pound. It's because of this, 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 and this. You had a busy weekend. You had a drink on Friday night. That kind of upset the scales. You're retaining some water because your body doesn't like dehydration from alcohol. That's lasting through to Friday. Blah, 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 blah. But I know from everything you showed me, you are 2.5 pounds down. You've made great progress this fortnight, but you only see 0.5 pound. And then away you go after that for your next 2 weeks before your next check-in. But 5 days later, you've still not seen the scales come down again. You're still not getting any sleep, and you go, fuck it. And you decide that you're going to go and do whatever. I'm going to get a takeaway tonight, and then tomorrow I'm going to do this, and I'm not going to track, and then I'm going to blah, blah, blah. And that's the indirect effect, right? It's the indirect effect where a lack of sleep turns you into a person who finds it easier to stop caring, who finds it easier to make unhelpful decisions, who finds it more difficult to make positive decisions. So sleep is 100% the one hack to rule them all. Your ability to make great decisions, to have great energy, to be pleasant to be around, to whatever, is, I mean, not entirely dependent, but it's heavily dependent. I mean, some people can do well without sleep, some can't. My wife's one of them. She can do well without sleep. I am fucking not one of them. That's why I go to my bed at 9 o'clock every night and try to be sleeping for 10 at the absolute latest, because I get up about 5, 5:30 to walk the dogs and then do everything else and then start work for the day. But sleep is a priority. And listen, remember, there is a difference between lying in your bed and sleeping. So if I could just give you some advice before I go, do not take a phone into your bedroom. If you're like, I talk to so many people who tell me they struggle with sleep, and then you find out that they're not struggling with sleep. They're lying in their bed with a TV on, scrolling their phone. That's not a struggle with sleep. That's your body struggling to understand when it's supposed to go to sleep. When you enter your bedroom, your body is meant to switch into, this is bedtime. So your body clock will be in sync. It can see it starting to get dark, especially this time of the year. It can see it starting to get dark. It knows it's time to start winding down. And you can create that connection where when you step into the bedroom, it knows what's about to happen. It's time to sleep. However, if you're someone who has a TV in your room, if you're someone who takes your phone into your bed with you and scrolls for hours at night, your body doesn't, when you step into that room, it's like, woohoo, stimulation time. Let's get that TV on. Let's get that phone on. We are not going to bed at 9. We are staying up till 12:30. Then we're going to get super annoyed with ourselves at how late it is, just so we could watch some fucking TikTok videos. And then you'll lie there stewing. Now it's 1 o'clock. Why am I still not sleeping yet? It's not that you struggle to sleep. It's that your body doesn't know when it's time to go to sleep. Like, am I like, I mean, what's an example here? I don't know. You go to your bedroom and you're lying in bed and you just expect your body to be able to switch from 1 minute pissing itself laughing at TikTok videos to the next minute just all of a sudden going to sleep in the exact same place. All you've done is lie down a bit and put your head more on the pillow. It's like, why? What's the difference here? It doesn't know. So you need to train your body to understand that when you go into that bedroom, it is time to go to sleep. Don't take a phone in the bedroom with you. Don't bullshit yourself. Oh, I need it for my alarm. No, you don't. Use your Fitbit, use your smartwatch. You don't need to be wearing it for it to vibrate for in the morning. When I go up to bed at night, my phone goes in my office on charge, which is directly below the bedroom. I have an alarm that goes off at 5 a.m. on my Garmin, just in case I need a little nudge to get up, and that's it. The thing is, a lot of people think they need their phone as an alarm because they can't get up with their watch. Why can't you get up with your watch? Because you're going to bed at a stupidly late time. If you're going to bed at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and you're trying to force yourself to get up 4 or 5 hours later, of course you need a phone to vibrate and make a racket and vibrate across the other side of the room where you placed it when you went to the toilet before you went to sleep at silly o'clock. It's all interconnected. And you kid yourself on that you need this thing. No, I need to have that in the bedroom. What if there's an emergency? When was the last time someone phoned you in the middle of the night for emergency? Never. It's never happened. It's maybe happened. If it's happened once in the last 3 or 5 years. You do not live a life where you have this constant stream of emergencies happening. Anyway, sleep, the one hack to rule them all. Almost every decision or your ability to make great decisions as a foundation is dependent on your physical condition. How rested are you? That needs to be taken care of first and foremost. Think of it as a foundation to build on, because trying to make any change or improvement in your life while trying to get your body to survive on 4 or 5 hours of sleep every night, you're fighting with one arm tied behind your back. Anyway, until next time.